Dawn Staley. Okay. Um, like she's somebody who again never played Clark at 7. Like this is one of those like flaw passers. She was somebody that was like she was somebody 6.1 points per game for her career. Finals appearances. And obviously I think she's a coach now for them. I'm surprised no team has hired her because there is a point guard bias, but hire damn good 2 guard. But like if she ever ends up getting in that point guard category, my guess is that Miles.
USA Today's top 10 all-time WNBA point guards list kicks off with Dawn Staley at number 10, and this reaction doesn't hold back, calling her drastically overrated for this specific list, separating her legendary coaching career from her actual on-court resume. That's a spicy way to open a ranking debate, and it sets the tone for exactly how blunt the rest of this breakdown is going to be.
So, that matters, but I'm okay with Caitlin Clark 7. I really am. She's going to break every single record. She's probably going to end her career at like there's more talent than W. She's not going to spawn in Lauren Jackson. No offense to Leah, but she's not spawning in Lauren Jackson, and she's in an era with Asia. She's not going to go in super.
Skylar Diggins at 9 gets a much warmer reception. One of the greatest players ever that did not win a ring, and there's real context here worth sitting with. She played in eras with as few as 10 teams in the league, when missing a title meant something different than it does heading into a 20-team league. That's a smart, historically grounded point about how championship scarcity has shifted over time.
It was 9.94, and it's just rounded up to 10, I guess. I guess they want to round it up. And also, there were 12 games last season. I don't think it counts. Caitlin Clark averaged 12 assists a game over a 12-game sample size. But she did have a season averaging 9.2, which for me is the
characterization here that Diggins is on paid leave and has flat out refused to play is worth double checking. Real reporting this season actually points to a legitimate right knee injury from an October surgery, tangled up with real frustration over a benching decision and unclear communication from the coaching staff. It's a genuinely messy situation, but refuse to play oversimplifies what's actually a mix of injury recovery and real role conflict.
Peak for peak. Yeah, like this year she's averaged 16 points and 5.3 assists in her career. She's currently on sabbatical from the Chicago Sky. She's on paid leave right now because she's just flat out just refused to play by the looks of things. By the looks of things, yeah, it is.
Becky Hammon at 8 gets an interesting justification. It's a weak position in general for the 1BA, which is a real, fair point about point guard depth historically in this league. Even for someone who, as noted here, never played for Team USA and built her international career with Russia instead.
Chicago Sky. She's on paid leave right now, because she's just flat out just refused to play by the looks of things. By the looks of things, yeah, it is. I think, yeah, digging stats wise, you gotta put her, and her longevity, you gotta put her there. Becky Hammon at 8. Okay, like. She's somebody who, again, never played for USA, played for Russia. Like.
And here's where this reaction gets genuinely interesting. I'm actually okay with Caitlin Clark at 7, acknowledging she's only played 2.5 seasons and 70 games, which is real verifiable context that makes a top 10 all-time placement this early in a career notably aggressive by any normal standard.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think she's gotten drastically overrated by the fact that, like, her great coaching career, but not egregiously bad. Not an egregiously bad player to have a top 10. Number 9, Skylar Diggins. Yeah, I'll give you Skylar Diggins. I'll give you Skylar Diggins. I think that's a completely reasonable player to have there. One of the greatest players ever did not win a ring, especially in an era where there was at times 10 teams in the league. So,
But then the take gets even bolder. If we're talking regular season peak for peak, I think peak Caitlin Clark's number 1. While acknowledging Chelsea Gray's playoff dominance and championship pedigree matters for the overall conversation. That's a genuinely nuanced distinction between peak performance and career completeness that a lot of ranking debates skip right past.
if we're talking regular season peak for peak, I think peak Caitlin Clark's number 1. If we're talking overall, like, we can't forget that, like, Chelsea Gray did basically not miss for an entire playoff run and they won a title. So, that matters. But I'm okay with Caitlin Clark 7. I really am. She's going to break every single record. And she's probably going to end her career at like there's more talent than W. She's not going to spawn in Lauren Jackson. No offense, Aaliyah. But she's not spawning in Lauren Jackson. And she's in an era with Asia. She's not going to go in super.
Teresa Weatherspoon at 6 gets real pushback. I really don't know. She belongs ahead of Clark, especially since she never won a title, and, in this reaction's view, should probably rank behind Candace Parker, even across a smaller sample of relevant seasons. That's a fair, stats-grounded disagreement with the original list.
Harder now. But the 2020s is going to start off with 12 teams and basically no fans. And it's going to end with 20, so... Like, it's been a crazy decade, and kind of everything is going to change in this decade. But
Ticha Penicheiro at 5 draws the sharpest criticism in the whole video. Sure, she was one of the best passers ever, with legendarily flashy highlight tape, but a career 6.1 points per game average makes it very difficult to justify ranking her above Skylar Diggins. That's a completely fair statistical challenge to the original ranking.
Doesn't play that much point guard, then that's where you got a bit of a problem. But she was drafted by the Sun 2014, spent 2 years, 5 years in LA. And like one of her rings in LA, she was like backup, but still. She is legitimately one of.
And this is where the reaction lays out its own real counter ranking, predicting Vandersloot, Whalen, and Gray as a clear top 4, with a massive gap between them and everyone else, including Clark and Diggins at 5 or 6. That's a bold, specific prediction worth testing against however the rest of this list actually plays out.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think she's gotten drastically overrated by the fact that, like, her great coaching career, but not egregiously bad. Not an egregiously bad player to have a top 10. Number 9, Skylar Diggins. Yeah, I'll give you Skylar Diggins. I'll give you Skylar Diggins. I think that's a completely reasonable player to have there. One of the greatest players ever did not win a ring, especially in an era where there was at times 10 teams in the league. So
the Vandersloot assist record breakdown here is legitimately sharp. Her famous double-digit assist season was actually 9.94, rounded up to the reported 10. And this reaction argues the real single-season assist record should go to her 9.2 mark from a full season, rather than a shortened 12-game bubble sample where Clark once averaged 12. That's real nuance about what record actually means depending on sample size.
I think she already might be peak for peak. Teresa Weatherspoon at 6. Really? Like, really? I don't know.
Chelsea Gray at 2 draws a genuinely fair, balanced take. 4 championships, one of the best shot makers the position has ever seen, but also an honest acknowledgement that she barely plays true point guard anymore and has lost a step athletically. Crediting her peak while being honest about her current role is exactly the kind of nuance good rankings debates need.
I just refuse to play by the looks of things. By the looks of things, Yeah, it is. I think, yeah, digging stats wise, you gotta put her, and her longevity, you gotta put her there. Becky Hammon at 8. Okay. Um,
And it closes with Sue Bird at number 1, the all-time assists leader, 13 All-Star selections, 9 All-Star starts, before pivoting into real speculation about where Paige Buchers ends up long-term, given she's currently playing off-ball next to Jessica Shepard. That's a legitimately interesting forward-looking question about how today's guards will eventually get ranked once their careers are further along.
from most league history. Yeah, I think her 4 is fine. Sloot at 3, yeah, didn't win enough rings to get top 2. Did not win enough rings. That being said, Courtney Vandersloot, 12 and a half assists per game in the playoff run, or say in the WNBA finals when they won in 2021. Was a backup point guard when they won in 2024, but was still a pretty good backup point guard. She was starting until in game 2 of the finals when Febrish came in for her.